Hey everyone, I'm back. FaceTime is ready, you guys. A new day in the chaos corner. Hold on, let me get okay. I like the sun on my face, but it's giving too much. So there we go. Um, so today, I think I'm gonna just be chaotic as usual, and I'm gonna have a couple of different things. Yesterday, I was, watching myself back. You know how we do. Check our pictures, check our videos, and I felt like it was just enough chaos for the corner. Okay. I'm gonna try to pull it together today, but no promises. That's why it's Chaos Corner. No promises. Penguin, my little baby co-host, he's back here with my tissues just in case. Cause some of the stuff today, I was thinking might get a little deep, but hopefully we can stay in the middle, right? So I was having a conversation yesterday and a lot with my village. I have these good conversations about growth, development, changing, if change is what I really want, and things like that. And in the conversation I was having last night, I realized that TV triggers me, not reality TV. Reality TV is kind of like a learning scale for me. I'm watching it to watch others go through things, see how other people react, to try to understand human behavior a little more, which is a thing I just like to do. I love to people watch. It's crazy. I just like to go places and just look at human behavior. Also, because it's one of those things when you act one way for the entirety of your life, pretty much, it's hard for you to have empathy for others until you see, experience, or go through some things. And I'm a person, I would rather learn, pay attention, and figure it out. But in my real life, I've just probably in the concept gone the long, hard way, but that's the way I learned. That's how I was trained in this life. You know, we think that training begins whenever we decide, but when you're a child, that's where it begins. Okay? But TV, I was talking about TV shows and how teenagers kind of have this thing where they go out and just find problems. And for me, I realized TV's not healthy for me. That's why I don't watch it probably 90% of the time, unless I'm watching a direct movie with my kids. Because in a TV series, every show is an individual show, which means every problem that started in that show normally is completed by the end of the 30 minutes of the show. And so it's unrealistic to me. It's the solutions to problems are unrealistic. They don't show you what has to happen, what you need, the tools. They don't show you anything. It's just a child decided to steal. Parent is mad. The child does something else and nothing kind of happens, and then we give them a chance to go out and see if they're going to do it again. And then they don't. And then it's wonderful at the end. And that has never been any experience in my life. Now, relax. I understand some kids had that wonderful experience. What I said is, in my world, that is not it. That is not how it happens. I've seen my friends make one mistake and their whole lives be over. But back to what I was saying, everything kind of it wraps up in a tight little bow. It just does. In the TV show, it wraps up in a bow. And from my experience with real life, when you make one decision, there's a ripple effect. One decision. The decisions we think that are great for everyone, they're never great for everyone. They're only great for you. The ones we think are going to hurt everyone, they usually never hurt anyone but you. The time we take trying to figure out how to maneuver through decision making, and I want to say this is for more selfless people than selfish people, because selfish people are going to choose themselves no matter what. They'll sabotage the best of their relationships to choose themselves. And hey, those decisions have a ripple effect as well. But I have watched people make one bad choice, one good choice, and it literally destroyed their lives. At that moment, it was the best choice. Long term, at that moment, it was the worst choice. Long term, they made it out. Some of them passed away. Some of them went to jail. Some of them ended up with children they didn't want. Some of them ended up in relationships they didn't want. You know, it's a lot of alternatives, and you know, I'll take the latter. I'll take my humans, my little humans. But it's really funny to me because in the conversation, I realized that unrealistic conclusions trigger me. I didn't have a chance as a child. Not that I didn't grow up, I got here, you know, I stayed alive, okay? But if I made one decision, it was always to the negative. It always seemed to hurt me long term. If I tried to give a person a chance, it was the worst thing ever. Some relationships I've spent majority of my life in, worst decisions of my life. Trying, praying, hoping, really wanting to have these conversations with adults around me, with other peers around me. And no, you don't get the happy ending. I literally don't have those relationships anymore. Like, they're gone. Gone. Right? And I started to think, like, why does it trigger me so bad? Like, what is it about these non-lived experiences and or things that I feel like are fictional that trigger me the most? And the truth is that I don't believe it. And also being in a situation where every decision I ever made made such a dramatic impact on so many spaces in my world. And I've lived long enough to know that most of those didn't work out at all, even in the short term or the long term. Some of that stuff I'm still suffering from. That's why I have a chaos corner. The chaos builds up on the inside. You know, you still go through it. But I think the biggest thing I've been learning about myself, especially, is that a lot of the reason it triggers me is because I didn't have some of those healthy conversations. And I'm no longer a child. I'm far from it. Don't want to go back. I'm never one of those people who are like, ooh, I just wish I could be a kid. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, depending on their life. I'm not her. I don't want to go back to being a child. Nothing, no, not for me. So I'm really trying to learn how to be like a better human now. And in that, I just realized, like, things that don't make sense in context, having multiple chances in life, that's not real. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand that as a child, you deserve chances. It doesn't mean you get them, not in real life. And because of that, I have this very hardened view of, like, giving people a second chance. The answer is no. And hold on. The answer is no. I don't care who you are. Family, friends, dating relationships, nobody. My children are going to start to curve that, but also I'm building a relationship with them where they don't have to bend to my will. They don't have to be perfect or live in a perfect space. Just have a communication line, have some dialogue. When you do something wrong, apologize, say I'm sorry. I don't like I'm sorry, particularly because it doesn't mean anything, but apologize and take accountability and responsibility for the things that you chose to do and how it may have affected someone else. But I probably debate with my friends the most because when I break up, we never get back together. No, it's not happening. If our friendship ends, I never want to be your friend again for the rest of the days of your life, in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, In a lifetime after that, I don't want to come across you again spiritually. Mm-mm. No, thank you. Absolutely not. I'd rather learn a new lesson with a new person. Also, family wise, same thing. There's nothing we can do. I didn't ask for my family. We just got put together. The friends I chose, you still gotta go. If we're dating, no, thank you. I think that in the relationships, I give 100%. I'll make all the excuses for you. And when I say excuses, if you do something, it's like, you know what, look at this. It could be this. It could be, I know your background. I know your personality. I know these things about you. And I give you grace and space, which to me ends up being excuses to say, hey, oh, this person could be better. Eventually, this person will love me. Eventually, this person will see me. They don't. They won't. It never happens. For me, to each their own. But for me, it never happens. I've given myself so many I'm sorries and apologies for other people's harm that they've done to me. I just come off as a cold person now. I hate it for others. It's great for me. I'm fine. I have the good people I need around me. Everyone who wants to love me and who genuinely gives me the same love back, that's who's here. Everybody who shows up for me the way I show up for them, the way that we love each other, all of those things, they're still here. But it does make me appear cold, and I see how it came full circle. Watching TV, watching things that are unrealistic to me creates this very visceral feeling of, why would you ever do that? Who's going to try that? Who's going to, give you a real second chance at that? But it's because of the journey I walked, right? The journey I've walked, like I said, there's been no second chances. There has been opportunities for people to show up in my life and to teach me different things and to add to my journey, but not so much to stay. I'm a true believer. Reasons, seasons, lifetimes. Like, that's a fact. Everybody's not supposed to be around, even your family members. Everybody's not supposed to go with you. Everybody's not supposed to excel in life with you. Everybody's not supposed to be there at the end. Death isn't the only thing that stops relationships, okay? And for me, I think that I don't want to grow out of this. I understand that people think they deserve a second chance, but nobody deserves anything because we don't get what we deserve. We get the consequences to the decisions that we make, good, bad, or indifferent. So, it makes for some shaky conversations because I have very forgiving relationships with my friends and my siblings. Very forgiving. These are very forgiving people. They are like, well, if you messed up one time, nope, no thank you. You showed me who you were the first time. I truly believe you. I don't want to have this relationship with you anymore. Please go to your side of the world and I will go to mine, right? I think that is like one of my biggest things is everyone says I'm non-forgiving, but I am forgiving 100% while I am with you and in this relationship and I love you. But once that's not the case, it's just not the case. It'll never be the case. It's not good for me. I shouldn't second guess myself. And that's what I'm learning. It's like some of these things are teaching me as well as triggering me to see, well, no, that doesn't hurt me. Every time I give a person a chance the second time and I watch them fool me twice, it literally sends me into a rampage. First, because I'm a fire sign, and I'm a Sagittarius at that, and there's not a lot of space in that space of realm. It's like I've got good understanding until I don't. I'm really nice and I love you until I need to read you to filth because we are no longer in a relationship together. So it's good for me. I'll say that it's good for me. But I do think that if we paid more attention to the things that triggered us, short term or long term, maybe we could learn new things about ourselves, like who we are, how we feel, what it means to us. Is this something I actually want to get rid of? Like I said, I'm not gonna start giving people all of these 133rd chances so that then I'm crying in the corner, because though I have very forgiving loved ones and a very forgiving village, I've watched them have these conversations of, well, I never expected it. Are we serious? Like, are we serious? You mean the same thing they did the first time? And then let's be clear. I'm not excluded for that. I had to get here. Okay, I had to become this woman. When I was young and 20 and wanted to be married and in love and have a family, and by 30, I was like, oh, I need to do this and I got to get a husband, and this is the expectation, and my career could be in the background. I gave a lot of chances. In that relationship, I gave a lot of chances. There's one man who I went back and dated after we broke up. And he did me secondary to the worst of all the men that I've dated in my adulthood. Second, there's one who's way worse, because we have a child together. So outside of that, he really wouldn't even be on the list. But it's one time, and what I learned that one time was that when a person shows you, trust them, believe them. I don't care if y'all break up on good terms. I don't care if you break up on bad terms. If your ego is the problem and why you broke up, like your ego was the issue, or something that was very small, minuscule things. I understand why people get divorced and get remarried, because sometimes they need that break to see, or they separate, or different things like that. But if they cheat on you, 20 years didn't change that. No, thank you. If they're a stalker, 20 years didn't change that. 5 years didn't change that. That person is foundationally insecure. For whatever reason, they are insecure. If that person hit you, nothing changed, baby. They just got better at beating you up quietly in a new form way. I think that people evolve into a better form of themselves. That's not changing. They don't become something else. They don't go from a turtle to a fish. They literally just evolve from a baby turtle to an adult turtle. Okay? So some of those foundational things, some of those broken pieces, they still show up the exact same way. If they abuse you in one way, they'll probably abuse you in all of the rest of the ways years later. And I'm saying probably because I'm trying to give other people hope. But I've lived long enough to see, they will. That's how it happens. It's what's going to happen. And we could hope for the best. Sometimes maybe you're the abusive trigger. Maybe your personality is just weak and that creates it. Maybe your personality is too strong and that creates the abuse. Maybe your lack of fucks to give creates contention in a relationship and really does cause a problem. It makes that person's insecurities pop up to the top of the list, and it's like, oh no, now I have to abuse this person to pull them down so that I can feel, I can see, I can appear bigger, better, whatever, right? Again, this is just what I learned. I hope people who know. And those who have the rose-colored glasses and the beautiful lives where they've never been through anything like this and it's never been so bad. And, I hope that path of flowers and butterflies stays with you, baby. But everybody's journey is not the same. And I'm talking about me and my chaos. So, I just have realized that because people decide to be better, it's usually for themselves or somebody else. And usually that new person will see the same thing you saw. Um, or I've never experienced it, or they see somebody brand new. And like I said, it was just you creating this. I have and am going to continue to be the villain in a lot of people's story because I'm always going to stand up for myself, and that automatically makes you the villain in some people's story. But like I said, some of these things I'm learning that they're good for me. They're the best thing for me. I lived 30 plus years of my life being the most selfless person I probably am ever going to run across. And nowadays, I'm learning my triggers. TV shows, watching my children grow up, watching relationships I've never experienced. I'm learning my triggers so that I can really hone in on the things that are good for me, my selfish pieces. What's best for me? Oh, well, to the people who don't like it at this point in my life, And I think I'm gonna end it there because this brain is just running and it could get a lot more crazy and we could be here all day, okay? Talking about crazy. But thank you guys again for coming and having a quick FaceTime with me. I will see you guys soon. Let me finish my coffee before it gets cold. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with a little more chaos. Hopefully a nice fluffy topic. I don't know though. Yeah, my chaos it got fluffy in there, but it don't live in fluffy. So you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time in the Chaos Corner.